Hi, I'm Nigel Slater from 3DP. Today we're just going to have a bit of a chat about ports, the port environment, designing and implementing wireless networks, the reasons for it, some of the challenges, some of the similarities that we find with other industrial settings such as mines. Our approach is relatively simple in its idea, in that it lies around a thing called the 3 pillars of success. Those 3 pillars are, number one, the domain. So really around the environment that the customer's operating in, and really fully understanding that, not just about what it looks like and where it is, but also their personnel, their training, their capability and capacity to be able to deal with some new technology at their port. The second pillar of success is the applications, what you're trying to achieve and how, and what the network will need to support to be able to provide you with the information that you want. And the third one is the technology choices, really based on the inputs from the other 2 pillars, where to go and what decisions to make in terms of technology. So from a domain perspective, ports obviously provide big, tall stacks of steel when the containers are lined up, and that can make connectivity challenging. Using things like traditional 802.11n Wi-Fi, as an example, means that you'll get these stacks of containers blocking the signal and making it hard to connect to mobile devices like reach stackers as they move around the stacks of containers. Obviously, it's a heavy industrial environment, and the equipment that you want to set up needs to be able to deal with that particular environment. So the applications, everything today in the industrial environment is about big data and being able to collect data real time, to be able to analyze it, to be able to make decisions, to be able to automate it. Ports have been under a lot of pressure, especially over the last 12 months. There's been a container shortage, and focus has really been on getting efficiencies, getting containers off of ships, placing them somewhere, being able to locate them and get them back on ships quickly. So applications such as terminal operating systems can help with that. There's also things like video cameras, so that port operations are visible when you need them to be. Safety and security, things like real-time location systems are also prominent. And more recently, automation in terms of vehicles, so autonomous vehicles moving containers around the ports are now a reality. And to achieve all of that, you've got to put in place a network that can support those applications. So finally, once we understand those 2 perspectives, we can make some choice on the technology. So as an example of how that works, a port we did in North America a few years ago was located really close to a city, and the result was that there was a significant amount of 2.4 gig Wi-Fi spectrum in use. It was getting hammered, and as a result, using that band was going to present some real problems because of interference. So for that particular customer, we focused on using the 5 gig band as an example. So that's a little bit about understanding the domain and what technology choices you've got to use. If it's LTE, then potentially whether you have private LTE available, whether public LTE is an option, and how effectively that will penetrate down these long rows of high steel containers. Alternatively, we can provide solutions that use the best of both worlds. So technology such as Radiance InstaMesh allows client meshing and data to be sent between devices on the ground rather than your traditional access points. Coupled in a hybrid network with LTE, you get the best of both technologies. Is it right for everyone? That's what we determine when we start our discovery with our customers and understand their domain and understand their applications. So while it's not an easy process, it's one that we're very familiar with, and we're looking forward to working with more ports globally and solving some of their connectivity and data problems. Thanks for listening. I'm Nigel Slater and I work for 3DP.